All right, so this morning we'll have a short and fresh health nugget. And we'll talk a little bit about deep breathing. How many of you are familiar with the benefits of deep breathing? Right. We have a lot of counsel in the inspired writings about the importance of breathing, especially, talks about little children in school, how they have to be taught to have good posture so they can have good breathing. But actually, the sad part is that this concept has been taken by, different, I would say, non-religious groups and kind of scared the religious people to look into it because it has different labels that are a little scary for some Christians. So today we'll just do a little practice that's totally fine, and we'll learn a little bit about why is it so important. So as we learn probably in school, those of us that like to study anatomy and physiology, we learn that when we breathe in, the chest expands, and then also the diaphragm contracts. And then when we breathe out, it's the opposite, chest contracts, and the diaphragm relaxes. And there is a lot that can be said about it. As we know, we need oxygen to go in, and then carbon dioxide to come out. So some of the benefits would be increases energy. Many times when we feel lethargic, when we feel like we cannot focus, it might be because the brain doesn't have enough oxygen. So we may probably need to go out and take some good deep breaths to refocus, to relieve some stress. And it also helps with blood pressure, to reduces the blood pressure and pain. Now, those of you mothers who went through labor, how many of you found that learning how to breathe properly helped you? Yes, and I have a friend who delivered 5 children, and she said that actually when she had, with one of the children, when she had a midwife that was very firm in teaching her how to follow a good breathing, she said that was one of the best, although it reduces pain. We may not, it's hard probably to believe that, but when we are tense, we increase pain greatly. So whenever you go through a stressful situation that you have some pain, and when you are tense, you almost double the pain. So it's very important to learn how to take a good deep breath to help release those muscles and to let the blood flow freely with oxygen in it. Now, a few other benefits that also Dr. Neil Nedley talks about. It relaxes the body. Oxygen is the brain for clear thinking. So those of you who have to sit in meetings and have to make some important decisions, you definitely want to, before the meeting, do some breathing exercise with your group there to make sure that there is some clear thinking, good oxygen to the brain, right? And also helps prevent respiratory infections. We have counsel that a brisk walk in the morning, in getting some good fresh air, can prevent us from hundreds of diseases. So it's very, very important to take these things more seriously. And for those of you who have problems sleeping, before going to bed, just go outside and take at least 10 good deep breaths, and you will see the difference that can make. And also improves mood. So this is something you don't need to buy. This is something cheap, easy, you find it everywhere, and you don't need to invest anything, just a little time in it. And you will get a lot of benefits that it's amazing. So I would just challenge you to try that. And I found an interesting paragraph in some of our inspired writings. It says that be sure to take full, deep breaths. This is an advice that was given to a minister that was recovering from I think some cold and had problems with speaking, and this is the advice that he received. So do not strain the voice, talk clearly and distinctly. Thus you may do much to aid your recovery. All our ministers should know how to articulate distinctly and how to take deep inspirations when breathing. You know all this, but for your benefits, I remind you of it. Speak slowly. And then later in the paragraph also says, shouldn't speak more than 30 minutes. No hints here. So this is a counsel, a divine inspired counsel that definitely deep breathing is important. Now, let's breathe. Let's do a short exercise to show you how you can do it. And I want to explain to you before we do that. Now, this activity you can do 30 minutes or 45 minutes a day. You can split it in two, like in the morning and in the evening. The whole goal of this activity is to try to take very deep breaths. You take it counting to 5, hold it, and then count to 5 when you release it. And try to come to the point not to take more than 6 breaths a minute during this exercise time. This has found to give great, great benefits, and it's been used a lot with people with anxiety. Now, I cannot tell you how many deep breathing I have to do at work with my patients, because when they are so anxious, I cannot talk to them. They are so anxious that sometimes I have to hold their shoulders and ask them to look at me and we have to breathe together to get them to the point to calm down so that we can talk, because it's so amazing what it does. And what we try to tell usually people that are very anxious, try to focus not on your problem that you are here for. Focus on that air that goes through you and what it does to you. And it's so amazing how it works. It's almost like giving them a medicine, how it calms down. Just these few minutes of deep breathing. So let's all try to count to 5 while you take a good deep breath. You need a good posture for that. You cannot sit like this, okay? You need a good posture. You don't have to stand because, if you are in a place, sometimes if you want to stand, but usually just to give you an idea how to do it. Count to 5 while you take a good deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release it slowly for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. When you do this a few times a day, it's amazing what it does. It really clears your mind. And this has been recommended by many doctors. And how many of you are familiar with what Navy SEALs' responsibilities are? It's considered one of the most stressful jobs or responsibilities that they have. So Navy SEALs use deep breathing a lot, and they are the ones promoting it a lot because it's like, hey guys, it can work for us that have such a heavy responsibility, it can work for you too, that might not have the same responsibility as we do. So let's take advantage of all this basically free advice that can increase so much more our life quality. So may the Lord help us, and don't forget, take a good deep breath every day.